Hello, good friends. How's everyone doing today? I have breaking news. I cannot wait to share it. Let people come in and excuse me, come on in and let's share this breaking news from the United States Supreme Court. Um, please let me know where you're commenting from. We had the Supreme Court decision a few days ago, and I want to discuss it and discuss how it affects immigrants, of course. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, for those who do not know me, my name is Attorney Odunlami. I am an immigration attorney right here in New Jersey. My law firm serves clients in all 50 states and even abroad. If you have immigration issues and you need assistance, please feel free to call my office, 973-993-1900. Wow, thank you guys. I have people from Nigeria, Maryland, Newark. Guys, I'm so excited to discuss this case. It's called US v. Texas. And without much ado, because I don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to stop in real quick to tell you guys what was going on with the Supreme Court. Now, the United States Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, made a ruling that concerned deportation priorities, right? So, as you guys know, every administration gets to determine their immigration policies. So it's widely known that the U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement does not have enough money, enough resources to deport roughly the 12 million undocumented people in the United States. So different administrations have prioritized their deportation policies. In the Trump administration, they basically gave ICE the authority to deport anybody that they saw, anybody they met, anybody they found out was undocumented. They actually worked with police officers in states to encourage them to give these names to them. If they arrested somebody on even a minor issue, the officers were encouraged to turn over the names to ICE. Now that's what happened. That's where a bunch of states decided that what they call them now, the refuge. What I don't remember what it's called, but the states that refused to work with ICE differentiated themselves and would not work with ICE. But the bottom line was that that was the Trump administration's policy, and Biden had a different policy. His policy was to prioritize certain categories of people for deportation. Right. So, according to the Biden administration, the priorities of deportation are people who are a threat to national security, those people will be deported. People who are a threat to public security, that's people with criminal records, serious criminal records, and people who are a threat to border security, that's people who are new arrivals. So with the Biden administration, if you were not part of this prioritized list, then they were not looking to deport that person. However, the state of Texas and the Safe Haven, thank you, Safe Haven states, I just couldn't remember the name. Thank you, Nkechi Delum. Those were Safe Haven states. So the state of Texas and the state of Louisiana decided that they were not, they felt that the Biden administration was, stopping them from doing the good work of deporting every single person and what they considered their good work. And that was sarcastic. So they sued, and the case came to, Supreme Court because it is a federal issue. And so the Supreme Court, listen to this, it was an 8-1 majority, which means 8 of the Supreme Court's justices ruled in favor of the Biden administration. And there was only one justice, Justice Alito, who would have ruled in favor of Texas and Louisiana. So the ruling was that Texas and Louisiana have no standing. They have no standing to bring this lawsuit. That's what the court ruled. So basically, it's like none of your business. You can't get in. You can't butt into this matter. This is a federal issue. That's what the justices said. You have no standing to bring this lawsuit. And Justice Kavanaugh actually said that the lawsuit was extraordinarily unusual in the fact that the states felt that they could compel the federal government to, you know, to change the immigration laws according to what those states wanted. So, what does that mean for the undocumented family, friend, co-worker, whatever it is that whoever it is that you know? Well, what it means is that if you don't fall into any of these priorities of deportation, then the Biden administration is not looking to deport you. And so now that makes me wonder, how is that going to work with Florida SB 1718, the law that's coming in July 1st, and Kansas law that is seeking to basically, you know, uh, uh, tell ICE that the people, if anybody's like, if you come into those states, they will, and you have no documentation, or you're working without documents, or you're driving into the state of Florida with no, and you're undocumented. They're basically saying that they're going to report to ICE. So what I'm saying is that basically takes off all the teeth from. Lavelle says she's wondering too. That takes off the teeth from the Florida law. It's toothless now. It's a toothless law. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the Florida law and the Kansas law. Yeah. So Omodo Lagbe says, "What's up with you, my sister?" I'm doing good. I'm doing better now that we got this Supreme Court ruling. So how does that affect you? If you know somebody who is in deportation proceedings, or you know somebody who has been ordered deported, this is the time to see if anything can be done about getting that deportation order terminated, or getting them out of the deportation proceedings. Because as you know, every president has a right to set their own immigration policies. And so we don't know who the next president is going to be. So this is the right time to make sure that something is done with your deportation proceedings. And Dr. Daniel says to release my firm number is 973-993-1900, 973-993-1900. It's the end of the day. Sorry, I'm just so tired. So I'm mumbling my words. And so if you guys have any questions, let's see. I will answer a couple of questions and then I have to go. But this is great news for undocumented immigrants. It's great news for immigration advocates. People need to be treated with dignity. Yes, just because somebody's undocumented does not mean that they have to be treated like animals. So we're all in favor of the Supreme Court ruling, which has basically put back the Biden era priority of deportation. It was this way a year and a half ago, until the lawsuits that came. Sterling Beauty says, I have a friend that they have taken her visa because of overstaying. So can her father file for her to come back to the United States? Sterling Beauty, yes, actually. However, because she overstayed, that she has an inadmissibility, so she's going to have to file. Her father has to file for her, and then she likely has to file a waiver to allow her to come in earlier. And depending on how, she has an inadmissibility. So they took her visa from her. Was she deported? Like, what? Because that also determines what else she has to file in addition to the waiver. Yes, Lavelle, let's see what DeSantis is going to do, because the Supreme Court has spoken, and clearly, I'm surprised that Florida didn't join this lawsuit, but it affects them. So let's see how that works out with their new law. So Christofina says, I'm going for an interview tomorrow for I-130, but I don't want to go because how my spouse is treating me, humiliation, insults, financial abuse, my kids abuse. I have filed VAWA. Yes, Christofina, I remember talking to you last week. You did say you filed VAWA. I don't know what your situation is, but if you filed VAWA and you got a receipt, it's a good idea for you to go to the office, to the immigration office, just to give them that receipt so they know that you filed VAWA. And so that I think if you could have done it, like maybe mailed it to them a long time ago, that might have, would have been okay for you not to show up. But if you haven't done this, then you don't want to. I think it's a good idea for you to go. Just show them your I-360 receipt, let them know you filed for VAWA, and that's that. So Portia says, what's the ruling? So Portia, the ruling is that the Supreme Court, there's a case US v. Texas, where Texas and Louisiana filed to block the immigration guidelines that the Biden administration had over priority of deportation. So the Biden administration basically wanted to prioritize the people that they deported because, there's not enough resources to deport all 12 million people who are undocumented. And the priorities of deportation was, they would only deport people who were either a threat to national security, a threat to public security, which means people with criminal records, or a threat to border security, which would be new arrivals, people who are just coming to the United States. They can be deported right away. So the states of Texas and Louisiana filed a lawsuit, and the Supreme Court took up the case, and they basically ruled in favor of Biden, saying that Texas and Louisiana had no standing, no business in this lawsuit. And basically, that was it. So we suspect that, I think that Biden will reinstate the priorities of deportation, and that's great for us attorneys because now we can help more people get out of deportation proceedings, because this is a time to do that now. So, Christofina, you said you didn't get a receipt yet. So, Christofina, what you still need to go. So, what's going to happen is when you go in there and you tell them you filed VAWA, the officer would likely tell you that they're going to send you an RFE, a request for evidence, to produce the I-360 receipt. And they typically give you like a month, which is not really a lot of time, because the I-360 receipts are taking a couple, 3 months to come in. But you have to let them know. And so I'm going to suggest that you definitely have to go in and let them know you filed a VAWA petition. If you have your tracking number, you might show it to them, but they're still going to request proof that the I-360 was received by the VAWA unit and that they accepted it. So that's pretty much what's going to happen, okay? Yeah, Portia, that's exactly right. So in light of the crazy laws that Florida and Kansas, put into effect starting July 1, I'm just thinking that those rules have no teeth anymore, because if they're arresting people and turning them over to ICE, well, ICE is going to be like, well, are they a threat to national security? No. Are they a threat to public safety? No. Are they a threat to border security? No. We're not trying to deport them right now, because we have other people that we want to deport who are a threat to national security, a threat to border security, national security, border security, and public security. So I think that's what's going to happen. So I don't know what DeSantis wants to do about that, but I'm hearing that there's a lot of immigrant workers, especially in the farming industry, hospitality, that are leaving in droves from Florida. And, like I said, they're going to see the error of their ways, So, Christofina, you called them already. It's not enough to call them. I'm going to tell you again, go there. So it's not enough to call them. I would tell you, this is what I would tell my clients. If a potential client called me and told me what you're telling me, I would tell them that they had to go in person and tell an officer, just to be safe, because you do not want your I-485 to be denied because they're not aware that you filed an I-360. If it's denied, you have to refile, and you have to file with a new filing fee, which is $1,225. That's a lot of money. So you might want to just, I know you don't want to go there. I know you've been going through a really rough patch with your husband who has treated you so badly. But it's really worth it to just do this, to go in person and make sure that the officer knows that you filed a VAWA petition. And at the same time, you should tell them to move your I-485 to the VAWA. So you didn't file an I-485. All right. You should have filed an I-485 though, unless your spouse was a green card holder. All right. So, well, I wish you the best tomorrow, Christofina. Best of luck, okay? All right, let's see. I think I can only answer one more question, and I have to go. Omojua says, I am an asylee granted in 2019. I put in my green card application in May 2020, but I haven't heard anything from USCIS ever since then. What can I do? You can put it on inquiry. Put it on inquiry and ask them what's going on, okay? All right. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me for this breaking news. It's really, really great news, and I'm really happy that the Biden priorities of deportation is back, because we're doing really great work just helping the court clear their calendar of people that do not need to be in deportation proceedings. And it was stopped for a period, and now hopefully we can go back to it. So, guys, thank you for joining me. I have to leave because I have an appointment at 5:30, but I will be back because I wanted to tell you guys about the two interviews I attended last week, which was so great, and I wanted to discuss that with you guys and go over a few things with you. So keep your ears and your social media open for when I come on live again, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.